The Fermi paradox. Hold on, my internet. Okay. Fermi paradox, Wikipedia. Wikipedia, you guys can donate to Wikipedia. They give us all this information for free. Most of the people are like volunteers and stuff. And donations go a long way. You got to support that. If you want to see something grow, you got to donate to. Okay, the Fermi paradox. This is a discrepancy between the lack of conclusive evidence of advanced extraterrestrial life compared to the apparently high a priori likelihood of its existence. As of 2015, an article put, "If life's so easy, someone out there must have been calling by now." Italian American physicist Enrico Fermi, his name's associated with the paradox because of a casual conversation in the summer of 1950 with fellow physicists Edward Teller, Herbert York, and Emil Konopinski. While walking to lunch, the men discussed recent UFO reports and the possibility of FTL travel. The conversation moved on to topics until during a lunch, Fermi blurted out, "But where is everybody?" There have been many attempts to resolve the Fermi paradox, such as suggesting that intelligent extraterrestrial beings are extremely rare, and the lifetime of such civilizations and that the lifetime of such civilizations is short, or that they exist but for various reasons, and humans see no evidence. I think of it like the way trees exist, but we couldn't tell you like a tree is it's like a conscious being. But until recently, like now we can actually measure this type of stuff with like polygraph machines, and we can see that we even just like intentions are being read by the trees. Like we don't even need to verbally articulate, like somehow the tree knows how we're feeling. And I think in that same way, like a tree can probably have like a full, rich, and vivid life, just like we experience, but on a different vibratory time scale. Like it experiences life in a much longer way because they're trees that live to be like hundreds of years old, right? Whereas like a fly lives to be like a couple weeks, a week or two, right? And I imagine it also has a full and vibrant, lush and growing, expanding experience from its own perspective. So it's all a matter of perspective and phasing. I think there are different phases, like interdimensional phases or intradimensional, like chain of reasoning. The following are some of the facts and hypotheses that together serve to highlight the apparent contradiction. There are billions of stars in the Milky Way, similar to the sun. With high probability, some of these stars have Earth-like planets in a circumstellar habitable zone. Many of these stars, hence their planets, are much older than the sun. If Earth-like planets are typical, some may have developed intelligent life long ago. Some of these civilizations may have developed interstellar travel, a step humans are investigating now. Even at the slow pace of the currently envisioned interstellar travel, the Milky Way galaxy can be completely traversed in a few million years. Since many of the sun-like stars are billions of years older than the sun, the Earth should have already been visited by extraterrestrial civilizations, or at least their probes. However, there's no convincing evidence that this has happened. When they're talking about the slow pace currently envisioned in interstellar travel, it's a matter of perspective. If you're down on the ground, you're looking at someone interstellar traveling, you're like, it's taking them years to get from the left side of the sky to the right side of the sky. But from their perspective, they're booming. They're like, look at everything going now. And well, I guess it does kind of look slow from their perspective, but if you put like, Mythbusters has like the grid behind the car that runs by. I think if you were to measure that, you'd see they're actually hauling ass. And from their perspective, it's like Interstellar where you stay young. It's like you go faster and you stay younger from the perspective of others. People that go slower, I think they age. I don't know, history. Fermi was not the first to ask this question. An earlier implicit memory was Konstantin Tsiolkovsky. Tsiolkovsky. In an unpublished manuscript in 1933, he noted people denying the presence of intelligent beings on the planets of universe because if such beings should exist, then they would have existed on Earth, and if civilizations existed, then they would have given us some sign of their existence. This was not a paradox for others who took this to imply the absence of extraterrestrial life, but it was one for him since he believed in extraterrestrial life and the possibility of space travel. Therefore, He proposed what is now called the zoo hypothesis and speculated that mankind's not yet ready yet for higher beings to contact us. That Silkovsky himself may have not been the first to discover the paradox, and is suggested by his above mentioned reference to other people's reasons for not accepting the premise that extraterrestrial civilizations exist. In 1975, Michael H. Hart published a detailed examination of the paradox, one of the first to do so. He argued that if intelligent extraterrestrials exist and are capable of space travel, then the galaxy could have been colonized in a time, burps for confirmation, guys, in a time much less than the age of Earth. However, there is no observable evidence that they've been here, which Hart called Fact A. Other names closely related to the Fermi's questions are, where are they? Included the Great Silence and Silentium Universi, Latin for silence of the universe. Oh, Latin, Silentium Universi. Though these only refer to the portion of the Fermi paradox that humans see no evidence of other civilizations, I think it's a matter of like, what does the perspective of an ant look like, right? What does the perspective and how is the life and the experience of an ant? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know. It's right here. We have extraterrestrials. They're right here. We're so focused on the wrong shit. We don't realize that it's all right there. Y'all want extraterrestrials? Shit's hitting the earth all the time. We're getting all kinds of different kinds of biological matter carried in meteors, and the thawing of the Antarctic and polar ice caps and all this shit's releasing stuff. Organisms are here. Y'all looking for intelligent organisms? Give something the chance to survive on this planet and see what happens. I think we get to a point where it's like Guardians of the Galaxy. We're like teaming up with raccoon people and dog people, and they're just like us. Like, the only reason why they're different is because we look at them as lesser, and I would argue we probably shouldn't. Original conversations. In the summer of 1950 at Los Alamos National Laboratory in New Mexico, Enrico Fermi and co-workers Emil Konopinski, Edward Teller, and Herbert York had one or several lunchtime conversations. Also, space travel is like, okay, it's hard, but what about the oceans? In one, Fermi suddenly blurted out, "Where is everybody?" Teller's letter. Or, "Don't you ever wonder where everybody is?" Like, these guys are all, I mean, kids are having these conversations on playgrounds too, guys. Like, this isn't that profound to ask a question that obvious. In my opinion, I don't know. Don't you ever wonder where, well, where is everybody? I think these are just the titles of the paper, but the letter itself probably further elaborates on many things that I'm just not aware of. But to me, like, this doesn't really entice me to learn more about these. Like, it's how they're asking a question isn't super provocative. I think how I'm asking the question is kind of provocative, though. No. The result of his question was the general laughter, because the strange fact that in spite of Fermi's question coming from the clear blue, everybody at the table seemed to understand at once what he was talking about: extraterrestrial life. In 1984, 1 year before I was born, York wrote that Fermi followed up with a series of calculations on the probability of Earth-like planets, the probability of life given in Earth, the probability of humans given life. They likely rise to a duration of high technology, and so on. He concluded that the basis of such calculations that we ought to have been visited a long time ago, many times over. Teller remembers that not much came of this conversation, except perhaps a statement that the distance to the next location of living beings may be very great, and that, indeed, as far out as our galaxy is concerned, we are living somewhere in the sticks, far removed from the metropolitan area of the galactic center. Fermi died of cancer in 1954, however, in letters to the three surviving men decades later, in 1984, Dr. Eric Jones of Los Alamos was able to partially put the original conversation back together. He informed each of the men which he wished to include reasonably accurate versions or a composite of the written proceedings he was putting together for previously held conference entitled Interstellar Migration and the Human Experience. Jones first sent a letter to Edward Teller, which included second-hand accounts from Hans Mark. Teller responded that then Jones sent Teller's letter to Herbert York. York responded, and finally, John sent both So they started an email chain and was texting each other on the gram. Furthermore, Konopinski was able to later identify a cartoon in which Jones found as one of the involved conversations and thereby helped to settle the time period as being somewhere. I don't know if y'all got that, but I didn't really get that. 1950. Okay, basis. The Fermi paradox is a conflict between an argument that the scale and probability seem to favor intelligent life being common in the universe, and that the lack of evidence of intelligent life has ever arisen anywhere than on Earth. So there's a total lack of evidence that intelligence life is anywhere than Earth. But I feel like you're disregarding the animals on Earth, because I feel like they're more intelligent than us because they haven't fallen into the mind control people seem to be under. The first aspect of the Fermi paradox is a function of the scale or large numbers involved. There's an estimated 200 to 400 billion stars in the Milky Way, and a 70 sextillion in the observable universe. So another way of saying how many 200, 400 billion stars in the Milky Way is 2 minus 4 times 10 to the 11 power. And 70 sextillion, a more complicated way of saying that, is 7 times 10 to the 22 power in the observable universe. Even if intelligent life occurs only at a minuscule percentage of the planets around these stars, there still might be a great number of extant civilizations. Now, for those of you like myself that don't know what the fuck extant means, I guess we gotta click this. Etymology: first attested in 1514. It's Latin from the extentum or extens, present participle of exto, from ex or out, or sto, which means to stand. So outstand. I got cords tangled here. Just give me a moment, guys. We're going to go wireless one day. Untethered. An untethered soul. Imagine the day. Imagine the day. Pronunciation. Oh, I was talking about Starlink and the internet and stuff. I'm very proud of the internet that I have. My internet provider, the current ISP I'm using, is called Spectrum. These guys are great. They've given me consistent communications. I could plug into any port in my house and it's reliable and consistent. And I think I push it to the limit with them guys a little bit. I definitely put a lot of cars on the highway, if you know what I mean. Pronunciation: US IPA, UK IPA, audio US. Oh, here we go. This is the audio pronunciation.
Extant.
Did y'all hear that? Because I ain't hear shit. Let's try it again. Repeat.
Extant.
Are y'all hearing?
Extant.
Okay, that's what it sounds like, I guess. It rhymes with other weird symbols. Okay, extant. It's an adjective. Still in existence. Not having disappeared. Synonyms are existent or existing. Or you could look at the thesaurus also at the word existent. An antonym is inextant, which is extant. Manuscripts of the Old Testament. Oh, that's like, I don't know, still alive or not extinct are other ways of describing the adjective extant. Still alive or not extinct. Alive and kicking, living, vital. The third definition is standing out or above the rest. Extant. To the extent that we're an extant, we got against beast mode up in this. Okay, extant. So there still might be a number of civilizations out there alive and kicking. And if the percentage were high enough, it would produce a significant number of extant civilizations or alive and kicking civilizations in the Milky Way. This assumes that the mediocrity principle, by which Earth is a typical planet. Mediocrity principle? I don't like the wording there, man. The second aspect of the Fermi paradox is the argument of probability. Given intelligent life's ability to overcome scarcity and its tendency to colonize new habitats, it seems possible that one or at least some civilizations would be technologically advanced, seek out new resources in space, and colonize their star system and subsequently surrounding stars. Since there's no significant evidence on Earth or somewhere else in the known universe, the other intelligent life after 13.8 billion years of universe's history, there's a conflict requiring a resolution. Examples of possible resolutions are that intelligent life is rarer than it is thought, and that assumptions about general development or behavior of intelligent species are flawed, or more radically, that current scientific understanding of nature and the universe itself is quite incomplete. The Fermi paradox can be asked in two ways. The first is, why are there no aliens or artifacts found on Earth or in the solar system? Y'all seen that movie Cars? This is like a tangent, but y'all seen that movie Cars? So, like, the cars are the only intelligent life on the planet. Cars without drivers are the only intelligent life on the planet. In the movie Cars. The second aspect of the Fermi paradox is the argument of probability, given intelligence life's ability to overcome scarcity, and its tendency to colonize new habitats. It seems possible that at least some civilizations would be technologically advanced enough to seek out new resources in space and colonize their star system and subsequently surrounding star systems, since there's no significant evidence on Earth elsewhere in the known universe or other intelligent life after 13.8 billion years of the universe's history. There's a conflict requiring a resolution. Some examples of possible resolutions are that intelligent life is rarer than we thought, or that the assumptions that the general development or behavior of intelligent species are flawed, or more radically, that the current scientific understanding of nature of the universe itself is quite incomplete. The Fermi paradox can be asked in two ways. The first is, why are there no aliens or artifacts on this Earth or in the solar system? If interstellar travel is possible, even the slow kind nearly within reach of Earth technology, then it would take only 5 to 50 million years to colonize the galaxy. This is relatively brief on a geological, let alone a cosmological scale. It's like the difference between the life of a tree and a fly, right? Since there are many stars older than the sun, and since intelligent life might have evolved earlier elsewhere, the question becomes why the galaxy has not been colonized already. Even if colonization is impractical or undesirable to all alien civilizations, large scale exploration of the galaxy could be possibly by probes. What if these might be, let's finish this, these might leave detectable artifacts in our solar system, such as old probes or evidence of mining activity, but none of these have been observed. What if somehow humanity, the human race, got bonked on the noggin? We got hit in the head, and we came to in a growth or development cycle that had been interrupted, and we're just supposed to get back on track like everything else. But we got so traumatized from that, from getting bumped out of the chorus of everything else, that we're like now trying to find like humanity's note that we got to hit so that the orchestra can play again. The Fermi paradox can be asked in two ways. The first is, why are there no aliens or artifacts? Okay, we already read that. The second form of the question is, why are there no signs of intelligent life elsewhere in the universe? This version does not assume interstellar travel, but it includes other galaxies as well. For distant galaxies, travel time may be well explained by the lack of alien visits on Earth, but a sufficiently advanced civilization could possibly be observable over a significant fraction of the size of the observable universe. Even if civilizations are rare, the scale and argument indicates that they should exist somewhere at some point during the history of the universe. And since they could be detected from far away over a considerable period of time, many potential sites of their origin are within range of human observation. It's unknown whether the paradox is stronger for the Milky Way galaxy or for the universe as a whole. The Drake equation, guys. Just hold on, we're coming. Oh, no, wait. The theories and principles of the Drake equation are closely related to the Fermi paradox. The equation was formulated by Frank Drake in 1961 in an attempt to find a systematic means to evaluate the numerous probabilities involved in the existence of alien life. The equation is as presented as follows. N equals R with a little asterisk that looks like maybe times F uh, under small p symbol, n under small e symbol, F under like under lowercase letter L, F um, little I, F C and L, where N is the number of technology advanced civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy, and N is asserted to be the product of R asterisk down there, the rate of formation of the stars in the galaxy. F with the lowercase p means the fraction of those stars with planetary systems. So fraction of planetary systems, FP. And then the rate of formation, I guess star is the rate of formation of stars in the galaxy. Okay, so the star represents stars in the galaxy being formed at a rate. Okay, that makes sense. I like the symbolism there. And then FP is the fraction of those with planetary systems. So the fraction of planetary system. NE is the number of planets per solar system with an environment suitable for organic life. So N is number and E is environment. F and lowercase l is the fraction of those suitable planets whereon organic life actually appears. So F is fraction of organic life or life, FL. Fi is the fraction of habitable planets wherein intelligent life actually appears, which is Fi, fraction intelligent. And then FC is the fraction of civilizations that reach the technological level whereby detectable signals may be dispatched. That's FC. And then L is the length of time that those civilizations have dispatched their signals. Do we have anything for consciousness or spirit or anything like that? Is there a FS, the fraction of civilizations that have spiritual or ideologic beliefs, or theology or philosophy or something? Okay, but I mean, I guess all you can actually measure is what actually is physically represented in this universe. But there's a spiritual aspect to existence, and that's not really being accounted for. But regardless, so N equals the rate of stars times the fraction of those that are planetary times the number of planets which have environments suitable for environment suitable for organic life. So rate of stars for so N is the number of technologically advanced civilizations, right? So N, or the number of technologically advanced civilizations, equals the rate of star formation times the fraction of planetary systems times the number of planets with an environment suitable for organic life times the fraction of those suitable planets whereon organic life appears times the fraction of habitable planets whereon intelligent life actually appears from those organic lives, and times the fraction of civilizations and technology detectable signals of communication, I guess. L times L, the length of those civilizations dispatching their signals. So it's almost like we're looking for when a firework explosion goes off, you see all those little tracers go out, and it's like we're looking for one of those tracers. We want to see an explosion from the fireworks show a tracer that maybe exists for a little like period of time, but as long as there's like a trail of a tracer, then we could tell that's organic life. And the amount of those that we can calculate together will give us the rough Drake equation equivalent of what we think the advanced technologically civilizations like could be produced. I guess I don't know. The fundamental problem of the last four, the FLFIFC and L, are entirely unknown, rendering statistical estimates impossible. Well, it's a good thing we got this equation that we understand now. The Drake equation has been used by both optimists and pessimists with wildly differing results. The first scientific meeting on the search for extraterrestrial life, or SETI, or extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI, SETI, which had 10 attendees, Frank Drake and Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan, goaded Carl Sagan. Pale blue dot, guys, pale blue dot. Speculated that the number of civilizations was roughly between 1,000 and 100,000 civilizations in the Milky Way galaxy. Conversely, Frank Tipler and John D. Barrow used pessimistic numbers and speculated that the average number of civilizations in a galaxy is much less than one. You think Frank and John have a lot of friends? Almost all arguments involving the Drake equation suffer from the overconfidence effect. This is a huge issue here. It says a common error of probabilistic reasoning about low probability events. By guessing specific numbers for likelihoods of events whose mechanism is not understood, such as the likelihood of abiogenesis on an Earth-like planet, with current likelihood estimates varying over many hundreds of orders of magnitude. An analysis that takes into account some uncertainty associated with its lack of understanding has been carried out by Anders Sandberg, Eric Drexler, and Toby Ord, and suggests a substantial ex ante probability of there being no other intelligent life in our observable universe. The Great Filter. I think this is instancing. The Great Filter is a concept introduced by Robin Hanson in 1996, representing whatever natural phenomenon that would make it unlikely for life to evolve from an inanimate matter to advanced civilizations. The most commonly agreed upon low probability event is abiogenesis, a gradual process of increasing complexity for the first self replicating molecules by a randomly occurring chemical process. Other proposed great filters are emerged with the eukaryotic cells or the meiosis, or some of the steps involved in the evolution of a brain capable of complex logical deductions. Astrobiologists Dirk Scholes Makuch and William Baines, reviewing the history of life on Earth, including convergent evolution, concluded that transitions such as oxygenic photosynthesis and eukaryotic cell multicellularity and tool using intelligence are likely to occur on any Earth planet given enough time. They argue that the great filter may be abiogenesis, the rise of technological human level intelligence, or inability to settle other worlds because of self destruction or a lack of resources. Empirical evidence. There are two parts of the Fermi paradox that rely on empirical evidence. There are many potential habitable planets, and humans see no evidence of life. The first point, that many suitable planets exist, was an assumption in Fermi's time, but is now supported by the discovery of exoplanets. Discovery that exoplanets are common. Current models predict billions of habitable worlds in the Milky Way. What if they're smart enough to give each other the breath of space? They're like, all right, they're developing at this rate. Almost like when you plant trees in an orchid, you can kind of do that intelligently, right? The second part of the paradox is humans see no evidence of extraterrestrial life. It's also an active field of scientific research. This includes both efforts to find indications of any life and the efforts specifically directed to finding intelligent life. These searches have been made since 1960 and several are ongoing. Although astronomers do not usually search for extraterrestrials, they all have observed phenomena that they are not, or that they could not immediately explain with posting an intelligent civilization as a source. For example, pulsars, when first discovered in 1967, were called little green men, or LGM, because of their precise repetition of their pulses. In all cases, explanations with no need for intelligent life have been around for observations, but the possibility of discovery remains. Proposed examples include asteroid mining that would change the appearance of debris disks around the stars, or spectral lines from nuclear waste disposal in stars. Explanations based on technosignatures such as radio communications have been present. Electromagnetic emissions. Project Phoenix, SETI, Serendip, which looks like an acronym, but also a play on words for the word serendipity. And Allen Telescope Array, ATA. ATA, yikes. Okay, so electromagnetic, direct planetary observation, conjunctures about interstellar probes, cool picture of the planet that's laid out in a flat plane. It's like they X-planed the planet here. It looks like a big dookie, doesn't it? I don't know. And then search for stellar scale artifacts. We got this. We get the Pacum, which is, it's like Paku Paco, which means to flap one's jaw. Hey, son. Good morning, son. I love you. He loves me back. He loves me back. He's just macho now. He can't say it all the time because we're too strong. We got muscles. Oh, look, planetary, a pale blue dot right there. Rarity. Okay, so hypothetical explanations, rarity of intelligence, extraterrestrial and non-renewals, yeah. And periodic extinction, and I could stay away just to feel you breathe. Never touched with you is the moment I change. I wanna stay away. I don't wanna close my eyes 'cause I miss you, baby. I don't wanna miss a thing. Every time I tell you, the greatest dream I never do because I miss you, babe, and I don't wanna walk away and see no man. Zug Zug? Oh shit. Fuck. I think we're the sustainability one. We're on the sustainability one. It's more flat, and then it shark fins. It's like whoosh, or dovetails, but it's more flat than that. It's not like it's a moment I treasure. I don't wanna go, 'cause I miss you, baby, and I don't wanna miss a thing. All my bags are packed. I'm ready to go. All right, guys. Till next time. Fermi's paradox. Peace. 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 Is a moment I treasure. 'Cause I miss you, baby. And I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to know it. How do you spell Aerosmith? Aerosmith. Man, I don't know how to spell. Ah, there it is. Aeros. I don't want to miss a thing. I want to miss a thing. This is the official video right here. I don't want to miss a thing. I don't want to miss a thing because I'll miss something. And I don't want to miss a thing. It's a